So for this video, guys, we're going to look at PA counter go. And this is probably one of the biggest staples to this formation and this scheme due to the fact that they got that one route that's really tough to stop. I'm going to kind of show you a little bit why here. And the reason is that depending on if you're going against like cover 2 or cover 3 hard flat, cover 4 hard flat, this B route does not need any help getting open, okay? Let me just show you against cover 2 first. And what I mean by that is that if I go ahead and take out the running back, I could take out the tight end, just run the route. If you pass lead it to about the 4 o'clock position, right and kind of down, that spot is open, okay? It's a route that the guys just don't kind of converge on, right? So it's kind of a throw that you want to get down, but it's there. And the threat of it being there, all you got to do is hit it once early in the game, really gets your user to have to stay in the middle of the field. We've got other route combinations that keep them in the middle of the field, but this route is a really great job because this Y route is actually what we want to use as our main target on this play design. So I'm just going to show you here against cover 3 hard flats. You're going to see it's the same way. The B comes across. Now you're going to pass lead it down to about the 4 o'clock position. 4 to 5 o'clock position is basically where you're throwing it. And that's on the wide side of the field. Now, if you go to the short side of the field, it works just the same. And that's really, kind of what it is. What I kind of like this better, to be honest with you, on the short side of the field, just because of the fact that, it's a little bit quicker of a hitter, right? So here's against cover 2. The guy's going to come across. You're going to see that he doesn't do a good job of maintaining his spot. I kind of did a bad throw as far as the timing of it. But you're going to see here that when you go against this, you're going to have that good success of being able to incorporate that route as a threat by itself. Now, that's not what we're going to do with our play designs, but it's there if you need it to be, right? If you need max protection, that's going to be the reason why we're doing it, and we're going to kind of show you that here, right? So let's just go to left hash mark, and we'll start off with this. And the first setup is put the A on a drag. I'm going to show you 3 different ways we're going to run this and block our running back, okay? Now, what we're doing here is we're creating a high-low. If we're in cloud flats, you're going to expect yourself to hit the A receiver. Typically speaking, because of the B, they have to respect it, to that side. Most people do not cover the drag on this manually because they're worried about the B getting open. It's just a train of thought, right? Plus, we have a play in this where the PA post shot where the X actually does a little bit of a S route, and that route almost has to be manually covered. So because of that, people don't chase the drag. So you'll see here, we're going to look at the high-low. A's open, hit him, get yourself 5 or 6 yards, okay? Now, I'm going to get into that a little bit later, what we can do with this as well. Now, the second threat is if it's a hard flat, we're going to just put the A in a drag, block our running back. I don't like the play action on this for protection purposes. When I usually do this, what I'm always doing is I'm taking the play action off of it. And then what I'm doing is I am sliding my line away from my running back. So it's going to look like this to where when I spread them, you're going to have that ability to basically to have your running back go right. Now, if you look at the line, they have those tiny T's. It's a little bit less, you're going to notice that you're going to get less protection with the tiny T's than you do with some other ones, and I'll show you what I mean by that later, right? So here we are. This is against hard flats. A goes underneath. They cover that. We're going to throw it to this Y route, okay? Now, I want to show you that this Y route does not really need any routes as well when it comes to it, as long as they're not pressed. But what does that mean? Okay, so when I'm doing this, where say they're not pressed, I can take this route away, use him as an extra blocker, and you're going to see that this Y still gets open against hard flats. Okay, so that's our max protection. That's our second way we're going to run this. And what that is that we're going to go hard flat. And what we're going to notice is we're going to be able to put the A on the drag, block our running back, and then what we're going to do is we're going to motion this guy over. And the reason why we do this is because now we got the high-low with the hard flat, cloud flat combination on the left. And we're going to hike this here, right? Hike this right here. And this is typically only when I expect hard flats, okay? And that's the throw. Because when it's cloud flats, you're really kind of giving yourself less opportunities to throw it. And the reason why you want to do max protect against hard flats, that's when people are sending heat. If they're in cloud flats, most likely they're not sending heat because, you know, they're allowing you to throw the dump off pass. But when it, you know, obviously in cloud flats, what you would do here is you would hit the A underneath, but you're not going to hit the Y, right? So that's kind of how I like to run this when it comes to the max protection. Now, I did talk about what I like to do against your 3-3-5 odd. Okay, now 3-3-5 odd, what I like to do on this play, and I'm putting it in this video because I'm just going to put it as a 1C because it's a very similar look. And let me get it here and do the crossfire. And I'm going to pick this, okay? What I like to do is I like to run this on the short side. I hadn't mentioned yet, but this works as far as this route combination works on both sides of the field. So we could have done this on the other side. So on this 3-3-5 odd, I like to put the A on and in. Block my running back, slide to the left, okay? And I like to go ahead and take my X receiver and block him to the right, okay? Now, that's optional, right? That's if you need the max protect. I'm going to show you without the max protect. But what I'm really doing is I'm doing a high-low with the A and the B. Because what we know is most likely they're going to be in some type of design like this, right? And we'll do it this way to where most people are going to send the left player because there's no running back over there. But because there's three, I'll put that left player on a hard flat just to do that. And let's just say that this is the way that they're going to run it right now, right? Where I'm going to do this to where this is a hard flat, and this is their main setup. Well, if they do something like this, and I'm putting that guy in a quarterback spot because that's the guy that they're going to be using, we're going to put the A on an in. Okay, the in is going to give us the ability to throw it to the in or the B. Okay, so I'm going to take this player off, and I just want to show you basically what I'm doing here. And this guy's going to go in. When you're able to throw to this guy right here is a quick throw. Okay, when they leave the middle open, they're going to be able to do the A or the B as a quick throw. Okay, and this is what I'm having a lot of success with 3-3-5 odd is when they're sending the house at you. You know, they're really going to have that opportunity, especially when, if you looked at that play, the 3-receiver hook is not going to be able to cover that player across the middle. So I just want to make sure that you see that at this point, they have to cover that guy as he comes across. Because at that left hash mark, he's open, right? Now, this is a good setup for them to where they went ahead and they did not blitz this guy. When they blitz this guy, and people will do that a lot, right? They'll blitz that guy. When they blitz that guy, they're really in trouble, especially because what they'll do is they'll just go ahead, they'll do like this, right? And they're going to cover the left to middle side of the field with this guy. You know, if something goes to the left, they're going to do that way, right? Well, that's the case. What ends up happening is that they really don't have a good opportunity of covering the in route this time, right? So this is when I usually go to this, is that when they do this, they've got to make a decision. Do they go in or do they go to the other player? And it's a quick read. You're just reading that player. Because let me show you what happened with that 3-rec, right? That 3-rec will not go across. You don't want to throw it right there, okay? So right now, if they had chosen to go with the in route, then you know you're going to be able to throw it to this guy, right? If they choose to stay back, then you know as soon as the in crosses the face of that 3-rec, he's going to be open, right? You also got that other player that goes across, but this is basically what I'm doing right now, right? Now, if they decided to keep that player on a hard flat, you know, just leave it like this, and I'll just do it like this, and I'll put this guy right here because a lot of time they're going to do it that way. Then you know that that in route will also go ahead and help you get the Y open. So watch what happens here. This guy comes across. Now you're waiting for the Y to come across, and now you're hitting the Y, right? So I want to make sure that you see that you got some options against 3-3-5 odd, but you got to hit this B route early to give it kind of a threat, right? That's kind of the idea, what I want to make sure that you understand. A goes across like this. Now you're throwing it to that B as he goes there. Now, the 3-rec definitely held him there only because I left the seams on there. If I take the seams off and I put them in hard flats, and that's what they're going to do, they're going to shade that 3-rec underneath, That's not going to happen for you. I just want to make sure you understand the game the way it is. See, now that they've done underneath, now that guy's going to get open. So that's most people, I don't want to say most people, almost everyone doesn't leave the 3 seams rec on there. If they wanted to go cloud flats with it, then I'll show you what basically happens there as well. This guy's going to come across. You're going to see that guy is going to take him, and you're going to throw it this way, right? So if you're in cloud flats, you're going to know that's your underneath route anyways. But you just want to make sure that when people run this, they're all robots. They're always shading down, especially early, because they're expecting their heat to come in. So I want to make sure that you see that. How you're going to run that, it's just basically you're going to just put the A on the thing. They shade down. You're going to know that if they shade down on that, that guy's going to get open as soon as it comes across the middle, and you want to throw it to him. And a lot of times what that ends up happening is that they're going to do it. Now, I'll also, just for the sake of it, put the RB on a route to the right, because that will definitely get your opponent to play him. If they're sending this player over here. I don't know what I just did there. Let me get this there. If they're sending this player here, and this is why I just try to figure out what they're doing before I go to this. If they're sending that player and they're in a hard flat on the left, they're going to attack this player in order to, that's their responsibility. So if you put that guy on some type of swing, they're going to go that way with it, and now you're going to be able to just throw to it in the middle. That's what I'm trying to do when it comes to manipulating the user, is put routes on the field that they have to cover, and then throw it behind them. And because that's such a quick hitting play, that's why I like to go to this in that situation.